on AM 1470 WNN.
If you've decided to get back to feeling good again like you used to feel, then you're invited to tune in to the Dr. Bob Martin Show. Hi, I'm Dr. Bob, at your service Sunday mornings at 10 on Talk 1470 WNN.
Thousands of people around the world are learning how extra money can be made from home at Online Trading Academy. Learn about stocks, options, futures, and Forex. Here's a trading tip from one of the instructors.
You see what we've done at the Academy? We've taken this and we've simplified it down to just the basic factors that you need. There's a set of rules, follow them. There's a scoring system. If it scores greater than 7, take the trade. Set the trade up, walk away and forget it with 3 major components: a stop, an entry, and a target. You don't know what those mean? Come in, we'll teach you those.
Online Trading Academy. Learn the right way to trade stocks and more. Thousands have learned how extra money can be made from home and how risk is limited. See how it works. Reserve a pair of seats at a free half-day class in Broward and Palm Beach. Call now. Online Trading Academy, 561-674-9800. 561-674-9800. That's 561-674-9800.
Talk here. Talk there. Talk 1470 AM and 95.3 FM. The Health and Wealth Radio Network. WNN.
Attention anyone who smokes, has a pet, or eats. If you're selling your car, boat, house, or move out of a rented apartment, we have your solution. Pristine Solutions is a new company that comes directly to your home, car, boat, office, or anywhere and eliminates odors from cigarettes, cigars, animals, food, and much more. A Pristine Solutions team member will take care of everything for you. Our chemical process breaks down and eliminates germs and bacteria that cause odors. Don't lose that security deposit because your pet had too many accidents or because you're a smoker. Call Pristine Solutions today. Call 561-299-5555 because these guys don't stink.
Are you ready for some awesome chefs-approved Mexican-inspired food? Then check out Los Bocados, where our #1 rule is every bite will be the best bite. Chef Anthony Hoff and Chef Robbie Bushman prepare all items utilizing locally sourced and the healthiest ingredients. We do catered events, corporate lunches, complete family meals, and advanced ordering. Los Bocados is located at 7191 North State Road 7 in Parkland, inside the Chevron. For orders, call 954-637-4984, 954-637-4984, or check out losbocados.com.
Are you looking for short-term inpatient rehabilitation or long-term care placement for yourself or a loved one after illness or injury? Whitehall Boca Raton Skilled Nursing and Rehab Facility has served South Florida for over 35 years. With care and oversight from our experienced physicians, Whitehall Boca Raton offers specialized comprehensive nursing and rehab programs in neurological, orthopedic, cardiac, pulmonary, and post-operative surgical care and outpatient therapy provided by our highly experienced nurses and therapists. We accept Medicare and other major insurances. Call 561-392-3000.
The opinions expressed on the following sponsored program are strictly those of the host, guests, and callers, and not necessarily those of this station, its staff, management, or sponsors.
Do you have a hot new business or an established business that offers great and unique services or products that you want to get the word out? Are you looking to grow your business and you want everyone to hear the buzz about it? Do you have an amazing project or an idea that impacts our community that you want to share and get others involved in? Then you've come to the right place. You're listening to Community Connections with Norma G. I'm your host, occupational therapist Norma Guerrero, and I want to share our passions while connecting with our community. So now let's get ready to hear about what's hot, what's new, and what's happening on Community Connections with Norma G. Give us a call at 888-565-1470 and join our conversation. Oh. Yeah. Welcome back to Community Connections with Norma G. It is Monday, May 8th, and I want to thank you for coming back and really, really excited about this upcoming week coming up because I am going to be, as I mentioned a couple weeks ago when I had the ladies of the Boys and Girls Club here on set, that the 100 Outstanding Women of Broward County event is this Thursday at the Signature Grand at 5:30, and I have been asked, and I'm honored to accept the ability to MC that event. And so there are still tickets available for that. So if you want to check it out, go to 100outstandingwomen.org or .com. It's one of those, or Boys and Girls Club BGCBC at browardcounty.org. And so I have to get that acronym down by Thursday. It's a little bit of a tongue twister. But it's a really, really great event to honor the women of Broward County and to take those children that are here in Broward County and help them have great aftercare programs while the families are at work. And so I'm really excited to be a part of all that and to get to meet and learn a lot about the ladies that are going to be honored that evening. So I want to thank Linda and thank Paula and thank Victoria and Elsa over there at the Boys and Girls Club for this opportunity, as well as to wish them well with the final touches that are needed to put this event together, because it's going to be like a 1,000-person gala. So I want to thank also everyone for all of their support and all their kind words for last week, for the condolences for my family. And so thank you so much for all that. We're all coming together and doing pretty well this week. So today I have another great show put together. And so I have two guests today. And I have Miss Rebecca Hahesi. Did I say that right?
You did.
Yes, Miss Rebecca Hahesi of the American Parkinson's Disease Associations, the APDA Association of South Florida chapter. And that's another tongue twister. I also have, and I have his name here. I have Miss Jude Averill of Ambassador Financial Services, and he is a real estate and mortgage broker who is like a one-stop shopping financial service firm. And so we're going to learn a little bit about the state of the market today, as well as learn about his skill sets and the options that he has to help you get a mortgage and or help you find or sell your home. So I'm excited to talk to him to learn about how the real estate is doing here in South Florida at this point in time. But first off, we're going to talk to Rebecca, who is the program director of the APDA.
Yes,
the
correct.
South Florida chapter. And so
Yes.
which is the American Parkinson's Disease Association of South Florida.
Yes.
Thank you so much for being here. It's
problem.
great to talk to you.
Thank you so much for having me today. Really appreciate it.
Awesome. And as many of you know, I'm an occupational therapist, and I have been for over 20 plus years. And Parkinson's disease is a very interesting neurological condition. And Rebecca here is going to talk to us about it today. And I'm going to kind of chime in where is necessary regarding clinically what patients need as far as Parkinson's disease. But she mainly is going to be talking about what her association does and the support groups that it does here locally in South Florida, which is super important, because I can help them and I can treat them and get them as strong as they physically can be at that particular stage. But afterward, when they're out there in their homes and in their community, it's very important to speak to Rebecca about the support groups that are important for the patient and or the caregiver. But I also want to mention that if you are listening to us on Facebook, which you can at Community Connections with Norma G, listening to us live, and or you can tune in and jump in your car. It's 5 p.m. prime time drive time. You can listen to us at 95.3 FM, 1470 AM. You could also give us a call at 888-565-1470 if you have any questions for myself or any of my guests today, as well as the iHeart radio app at 1470 WNN. And you can also find us on Twitter, Periscope, on Instagram, all over the place. And so just find a way to listen to us and tune in. You can also catch us a little bit later. If you're not able to listen to the whole show right now, you can check us out on the Facebook page as well. So, Rebecca, tell us a little bit about Parkinson's disease and what does it mean? What kind of condition is it?
Sure. Well, as you had mentioned, it's a neurological condition. It's classified as a movement disorder. It happens in a small part of your brain called the substantia nigra. And basically, it's a lack of dopamine. So people with Parkinson's are lacking dopamine. And that's really the part that helps with those fluid movements, smooth movements that you can make with Parkinson's disease. Primarily, there's three primary symptoms, motor symptoms that get affected with tremor. And as you would probably definitely know, working as an occupational therapist, working with them, there's balance issues, the rigidity, and then there's a lot of other non-motor symptoms that really get complicated. And I think probably why a lot of people get in contact with us of having that support, because the non-motor symptoms are, the thing with like depression, those motor symptoms, issues with handwriting, voice, having problems swallowing, communicating. There's some cognitive issues. It just it really depends, of course, person by person, but a lot of times it really affects that person in a different way. So what our association does is we're a nationally based organization. Our national chapter or home office is up in Staten Island, New York. Our chapter's in South Florida. We've been here in South Florida for about 10 years, but really probably gotten a little bit more on the map in the last 2 years. And we provide programs and services really just grounded for people to live life to their fullest. We show strength in our optimism is really kind of part of our tagline. So support groups are offered for those who have Parkinson's disease, for care partners, what they're calling it now, not just a caregiver. They don't want people to think it as they're giving care. They want to be it as a partnership, so care partners. We also help to support health and wellness activities because it's very, very important, and we can definitely talk about that more, to move with Parkinson's. If it's a lack of dopamine, to create dopamine, you got to move, whether that's through PT, OT, or it's just through exercise in general. So we help with a lot of health and wellness activities. We provide information referrals. If people have questions, I would, probably refer to someone like Norma, who's worked with someone with Parkinson's patients, doctors, other type of healthcare agencies that we've worked with out in the community that know about people with Parkinson's. And a lot of times I'm the 800 number. So if somebody calls, they're talking to me, but I'm trying to get out in the community as much as possible, just to kind of really connect with people so that all the information that I do have, it's shared experiences and information from other people with Parkinson's. So it's not just, they're the people with Parkinson's, the people with the experts. So I try to get as much information as possible to share it with them.
Well, the APDA is a nonprofit organization, correct?
Correct.
Yes. And so when I spoke with you on the phone to get your background a little bit, you told me you have a long history of working with nonprofit organizations.
I do.
And so how is that, was that always of interest to you? How did you fall into that? Because I want to get into the Parkinson's a little bit more, but I would also really like to, you've really committed to these types of organizations that are really, their primary goal is to really help and support, whatever it is, the cause that's behind the organization.
It is. I've definitely, my background, my major from college was child development, family relations. And I'd probably, just like anybody else, when you're going through college, you think this is the right career path. And then all of a sudden they basically tell you, well, this is what you're going to do when you grow up. And you think, why did I choose this? So it's kind of too late in the game, stuck with child development, did a few other minors. But really just enjoyed working with people. Really predominantly it was more children and families, but I just liked helping people in general. Actually, one of the doctors had said to me, God, what motivates you? And I just said, I just like to do good.
Yeah.
I don't know. I like to work hard.
Where'd you go to school?
I'm originally from Pennsylvania, so Indiana University of Pennsylvania. It's called IUP. So, which is like near Pittsburgh. It's actually in a town.
It's called Indiana University?
Yes. Pennsylvania is very interesting. We have a town called Indiana. So that's actually where Jimmy Stewart, was born and raised from. It's a Wonderful Life. California, Pennsylvania. It's a very interesting state. We like to have other names of states in our state. I'm not really sure, but it's a state school, kind of like along the lines of UF, FSU type deal. It's about an hour northeast of Pittsburgh.
And how long have you been in Florida?
I've been in Florida since 2001. So
okay, so you've been here for a while.
I've been here for a little while. Yeah, after I graduated, I moved down here and just started working, getting involved in being in the nonprofit or medical facility. I also had that. I probably, if I did it all over, I could probably should have been a nurse. Always had that, I'm not very squeamish. I see something and I'm like, ooh, what's that? It gets very, interesting for me.
So you mentioned to me you've been a couple years with this organization, the APDA.
I've been with them for a year and a half.
A year and a half. And were you exposed to Parkinson's prior to that?
I wasn't. Interestingly enough, though, my husband's uncle was diagnosed with it probably, I think, around the same time I started working for the association. So I was able to kind of share the information of knowledge that I knew about Parkinson's with them to help them in that aspect. But I didn't really, grandparents had other ailments, but not this one. But no, the job came up. It looked like a great opportunity. I wanted to get back into the type of nationally based organization just to really kind of help on a different level. When I interviewed for the position, there was just a lot of things that were changing. For example, we just had new branding, new logos, just trying to really do a lot of different things as far as programming too. And I just said, I want to be involved in something that could make a difference and just.
And there was a need for this organization for a program director, and so you were able to fit. And so, based on you said your family member, you started to what. You don't have to answer that question. I don't want to ask any personal questions related to, but what type of symptoms did you see either in your family member or when you have gone to these support groups? What type of symptoms are you seeing in some of the people that attend? Like you as kind of a new person kind of coming into the scenario, a year and a half, 2 years. Well, what types of things do you see?
So, for example, today I was actually up in Stewart, helping them to grow their program and have a person with Parkinson's type of support group, and they're all facilitated. We like to try to make sure that, or at least APDA, that they're facilitated by professionals. A lot of them are out in the community peer-led, but it's always great to have that professional aspect in there, and a facilitation, no therapy. But for example, a gentleman today was mentioning that he'd had the diagnosis for about 20 years. He was doing great, was playing golf 5 to 6 times a week until the last 6 months, and he can barely play at one. He had a pretty big, decent tremor, and then had the facial masking, which is kind of common with Parkinson's disease. Again, common doesn't mean that everyone has it. And then we had another gentleman who has been a long time goer of the group, and mentioned how he was possibly a candidate for DBS, which is deep brain stimulation. It's literally like a little pacemaker for the brain, if you want to put short to the point with that. And he went to go see if he was a DBS candidate. He wasn't, but he was always having problems with his tremor. And the doctor that he ended up now seeing increased the Cinemet, and now he has no tremor. So for him, that was phenomenal. Another gentleman was there talking about how he had DBS. Again, a little bit with his speech difficulties, had a service dog, had DBS, and really said, the last he's had Parkinson's for 20 years was the early young onset, was diagnosed in 47. But he really attributes his doing so well with the DBS, which is usually a lot of people. And then had a woman who was diagnosed about 4 months ago and had to leave the group because it was too much for her to bear. She wasn't ready. She wanted to come to the support group. She wanted to hear about it, but she really wasn't ready.
She had the Parkinson's herself.
She had the Parkinson's herself, and actually
an
stepped
initial
out
stage
group.
of it, or more advanced stage?
No, I'd say initial. I'd say
Yeah.
stage like maybe 2. I mean, I didn't even
Yeah.
think. Looking at her, didn't look like she had Parkinson's, but
Yeah.
it was too much. It was
And
overwhelming.
that's like that in any type of support group and any type of disability. And I asked you that question because I wanted to kind of just hear your observations that you see on there as a, if you will, a non-clinical, type of person. But, I have found that anyone who's passionate about anybody or any particular subject, and they learn and they study and they do what they need to do, they can, really understand, what you're saying. And that you clearly, are able to identify a lot of those things, in those clients and empathize and extend compassion to them because you're understanding these signs and symptoms. And so as a therapist and, having been around Parkinson's for, many, many years and treating so many patients with it, that I think it's important to lay the foundation that it does have stages.
Yeah.
And that it has different levels of caps and ceilings, and not everyone is operating and functioning in an advanced stage of Parkinson's, which is where you're completely catatonic. You're not able to move. Any type of thing.
Yeah.
And in the bed and that type of thing. And that certainly can happen. But I think it's important that in any stage of any disease, but especially in Parkinson's, because Parkinson's is a movement disorder. It's a where it actually puts a delay on your brain being able to tell your body how to move, whether it be to move your leg or to move your arm or to a delayed response. And so it's
Like
very
freezing. Yeah.
like freezing.
Yeah.
That's the word, like catatonic freezing. And you really have to have an extra level of patience with Parkinson's patients related to their movement. However, in my experience of working with so many patients that have dementia, senility, confusion, Alzheimer's, that's a different level of patience because now you're dealing with someone that you definitely have some cognitive impairments with Parkinson's as it progresses along. However, what I find is that they're actually very clear-minded.
Yes.
They know exactly how to express their needs. They know exactly how to say, I want to wear my blue shirt, or I want to do this first, or I want to try, because it really doesn't play on the brain the way Alzheimer does. They may lose some processing skills, but I really wanted to stress the fact that although they may seem delayed because of the facial masking, these people are very much with it and very much able to still make their decisions for themselves about their daily life activities.
Yeah.
And it's so important, because when I'm working with a patient and they're not able to determine left from right, or they're not able to determine, they want to do this first or that first, I sometimes have to make that decision for them, which is fine as long as, there isn't any resistance. I don't, try not to put my will upon somebody. But with a Parkinson's patient, I will ask them, would you like to work on this today, or would you like to work on this today? And they'll tell you specifically exactly what they want to work on, because it's very important to keep their ability to make their own decisions in their care and also in their therapy. Yeah. And so that's my experience with working with Parkinson's patients, one of many experiences. And so,
exactly.
We wanted to, kind of share a little bit about what Parkinson's is and how it can look like. And we're going to continue to do that. I want to take a little bit of a break briefly, but I want to come back and ask Rebecca about the support group specifically, and also the importance of exercise and movement related to Parkinson's, because that is hands down, no doubt, by maintaining an exercise program and a range of motion and strengthening and being involved in physical therapy, occupational therapy a couple of times a year is super, super key to important to not letting the disease process get ahead of you. Because you can be functioning at 2 to 3 or 4 levels higher than you think that you are because of setbacks. And we can talk about those things that be setbacks. And so I want to thank Whitehall Boca as well, the skilled nursing and rehab facility that helps sponsor this show, for introducing Rebecca to us, who it's very important that when we are discharging patients that we give the resources for support groups. And so I'm super glad that you're here and to learn a little bit more about that. So we'll be right back.
Attention anyone who smokes, has a pet, or eats. If you're selling your car, boat, house, or move out of a rented apartment, we have your solution. Pristine Solutions is a new company that comes directly to your home, car, boat, office, or anywhere and eliminates odors from cigarettes, cigars, animals, food, and much more. A Pristine Solutions team member will take care of everything for you. Our chemical process breaks down and eliminates germs and bacteria that cause odors. Don't lose that security deposit because your pet had too many accidents or because you're a smoker. Call Pristine Solutions today. Call 561-299-5555 because these guys don't stink.
Are you looking for short-term inpatient rehabilitation or long-term care placement for yourself or a loved one after illness or injury? Whitehall Boca Raton Skilled Nursing and Rehab Facility has served South Florida for over 35 years. With care and oversight from our experienced physicians, Whitehall Boca Raton offers specialized comprehensive nursing and rehab programs in neurological, orthopedic, cardiac, pulmonary, and post-operative surgical care and outpatient therapy provided by our highly experienced nurses and therapists. We accept Medicare and other major insurances. Call 561-392-3000.
Are you ready for some awesome chefs-approved Mexican-inspired food? Then check out Los Bocados, where our #1 rule is every bite will be the best bite. Chef Anthony Hoff and Chef Robbie Bushman prepare all items utilizing locally sourced and the healthiest ingredients. We do catered events, corporate lunches, complete family meals, and advanced ordering. Los Bocados is located at 7191 North State Road 7 in Parkland, inside the Chevron. For orders, call 954-637-4984, 954-637-4984, or check out losbocados.com.
Thank you for listening to Community Connections with Norma G. We're the place where we talk about your business, a product, an idea, or a project to get the word out to our community. I'm your host, occupational therapist Norma Guerrero. Today we are sharing our passions while connecting with our community. Give us a call at 888-565-1470 and join our conversation. Don't forget to tune in every Monday night at 5 to 6 p.m. to join me, Norma G, and our guests to find out about what's hot, what's new, and what's happening in our community. Can't wait to see you there. Now let's rejoin the show. Welcome back to Community Connections with Norma G, and we are talking to the lovely Miss Rebecca Hesse of the APDA, which is the American Parkinson's Disease Association of South Florida Chapter, which is an organization that provides support groups to. Where do you provide support groups, Rebecca? In what area in South Florida?
So predominantly we do Broward County, Palm Beach County, and then we go all the way up to the Treasure Coast. Definitely, there's just 2 of us in our chapter. So there's myself program, and then our executive director that does a lot of the fundraising for events and for research. So I definitely utilize the community a lot for a lot of the support groups. Have a partnership, for example, with Health South. They provide a support group. It's actually a PT, physical therapist, and a speech language pathologist that help with the group. There's an exercise group up in Tamarack by Life Care of Florida. So I have tons of other people out in the community. There's even a group in Fort Lauderdale at a church that does stuff. So I do a lot of referrals to them and work with them in the community, but I'm helping them also market at their groups. I myself run some groups out in the community, one in Coral Springs, Delray Beach. There's
What type of location in Coral Springs or Delray Beach?
Coral Springs is the one at Broward Health.
At the hospital?
At the hospital.
Okay.
We do a young onset group, which is down in Cooper City at a Temple Beth. Oh, nope, I'm not going to say it because I'm probably going to get it wrong. I just know it's one of the temples down in Cooper City, and that's an evening group. But we're always looking to add a few more groups and support, just because I like when someone calls on the phone that they can say, hey, I live in Boca. Where can I go? I wouldn't say, oh, well, your closest group for you is Fort Lauderdale. I mean, this isn't...
So you try and probably keep a 10, 15-mile tops. 50 miles is still even far. Really,
exactly.
a 5 to 10-mile radius.
For people.
And is that your goal, to get in every 5 to 10-mile radius?
Yes, and we've done pretty well so far, as far as having some sort of support.
That's a lot of groups.
It is definitely a lot of group. I'd say over 30. I think that as far as support groups and then health and wellness activities, that's a whole nother ball game. There's about, so I'm kind of managing and working with like 50 plus groups out in the community.
Are your groups weekly, monthly?
They depend. For the most part, they're monthly, once a month. Most of them are during the daytime because, a lot of people diagnosis, of course, is usually after the age of, like 60. So mostly everyone's retired, but for those that work, we try to open that up a little bit for people. There are some groups that are every other week. Health and wellness activities, so those are the exercise components, which I know you just kind of talked about before the commercial, which is major, huge key. If they're going to help with the progression or, slow down the progression and help with the symptoms, you have to exercise and you have to take your medications. There are some people that are not on medications, which that works too, and it's everyone's different. But a lot of those exercise classes are every week, and at least one or two times, three or four times, some of them a week.
So you said you're leading the group sometimes.
I'm leading some of the groups.
Do you try to get it to where somebody at that facility or organization where you're doing it to lead that group?
Correct. I usually try to get some sort of professional, whether it is a therapist or someone who's comfortable in learning and wanting to learn, and I will help train facilitating them, or help train them to become a facilitator. So again, it's facilitating a group, which is a different kind of caveat than being a social worker or licensed therapist. We're not providing that type of therapeutic support.
And are you doing exercise during these support groups, or is that a separate group in itself?
That's a separate group in itself.
Okay.
So if they want that, that's fine, and that's usually more ongoing than the support group, which is primarily once a month, probably an hour. Some are an hour and a half. I have there's a group up in Jupiter that meets every Friday. They do something every other time. They don't really have a group component. They have a caregiver group or care partner group, but they do something like I call it a lunch and learn. They have it's charged $5. They come in and it's good, and they're good to go.
Well, I think it's important to note again that the initial signs and symptoms that you can see if you think that you may have Parkinson's is a few things. You may see a little bit of a shuffling of a gait.
Yep.
You may see a difficulty with sit to stand. If you're finding that your pelvic muscles, your quadriceps, you're having trouble with sit to stand, you may begin to see a tremor in your hand. You may see a little bit of a masked face, but that's not usually an initial phase of it. And so if you are starting to feel a little bit of maybe dropping things, it could be balance issues. And so there's a lot of different ways, and doctors still don't have a way of diagnosing this. There's a test, some sort of test that measures, I believe, some sort of serotonin or dopamine in the brain. But ultimately, if they see some of these signs and symptoms of rigidity, of stiffness, what they may do is put you on the medication, which is oftentimes called Cinnamate, or I forget the one with a C.
Carbidopa,
levodopa, yes. And so if you see results with it within a month, that's actually one of the telltale ways to diagnose it. And then it becomes a game of dosage. And because as the disease progresses along, you can get kind of used to that medication and have to raise the medication. But in the midst of all that, exercise is so important because it reduces rigidity, it increases strength, and it increases coordination. And that really is, in the support group, is so important to learn about. In any support group, you're going to learn about the tricks to the diagnosis. What are the things? And you're always going to learn, iron sharpens iron. You're always going to learn about someone else's experience, and you're going to realize that I'll take my version of Parkinson's versus your version of Parkinson's. Right. It's like the same thing with stroke. It's the same thing with having cancer. It's the same thing with a spinal cord injury. Some people can't walk. Some people can't move their arms. Whatever the condition is, these support groups are so, so important. And I think to have one very specific to Parkinson's, because it is very different, the challenges that Parkinson's patients have versus these other conditions that I just mentioned. So, being involved in a support group that's not just generalized, I have a disability, but specific to the disability is key and important. And so, Rebecca, if someone wanted to get a hold of you either via email, phone, or the website address, how do we get a hold of you?
Sure. So the 800 number is 800-825-2732. And the website, we just turned it over. As I mentioned, we had some rebranding, but it's www.apda, so that's American Parkinson Disease Association, the word Parkinson, no S, .org/FL. It's over Florida.
Mm-hmm. And, she mentioned that I think it's just so important. And like I said, the support groups are huge. They're huge, especially even for the caregivers, because what's involved in caring for a patient with Parkinson's is extremely, extremely complex over a period of 5 years, 10 years, 15 years. But there's exercise classes, which is what we consider a maintenance type of exercise. But your doctor can write you a prescription for physical therapy or occupational therapy, and you can go to an outpatient clinic, either near your street corner or Whitehall Boca has outpatient physical therapy, speech therapy, and occupational therapy services. And you can receive therapy services once, maybe twice a year, a couple rounds of therapy in order to, maintain your function. Because that's what happens is that you become a little bit sedentary. You can also have a little bit of a setback, whether it be you got sick or you got the flu, maybe you went to the hospital, for a couple days, and all those things really take a toll. And so get involved in outpatient therapy in your local area, and that's the best way to manage Parkinson's disease. Your doctor with the medication, but really exercise is huge, because it's a progressive muscular disease. It's not like a disease that, where you need a type of a chemotherapy or something like that type of treatment. It really is something that exercise can totally change how you function and how you operate. And so, Rebecca, thank you so much for taking the time. I wish you well with continuing to get those groups up and running. And I know that it's great for me to know that this resource is here and available in the community, besides just the national organization, but actually the grassroots that you have here in South Florida. And so once again, if we want to find you, how do we find you?
800-825-2732 or www.apdaparkinson.org/FL.
That's awesome. Thank you so much. And we'll be right back with Jude Averill with Ambassador Financial Services.
Are you looking for short-term inpatient rehabilitation or long-term care placement for yourself or a loved one after illness or injury? Whitehall Boca Raton Skilled Nursing and Rehab Facility has served South Florida for over 35 years. With care and oversight from our experienced physicians, Whitehall Boca Raton offers specialized comprehensive nursing and rehab programs in neurological, orthopedic, cardiac, pulmonary, and post-operative surgical care and outpatient therapy provided by our highly experienced nurses and therapists. We accept Medicare and other major insurances. Call 561-392-3000.
Are you ready for some awesome chefs-approved Mexican-inspired food? Then check out Los Bocados, where our #1 rule is every bite will be the best bite. Chef Anthony Hoff and Chef Robbie Bushman prepare all items utilizing locally sourced and the healthiest ingredients. We do catered events, corporate lunches, complete family meals, and advanced ordering. Los Bocados is located at 7191 North State Road 7 in Parkland, inside the Chevron. For orders, call 954 954-637-4984, 954-637-4984, or check out lospocados.com.
Attention anyone who smokes, has a pet, or eats. If you're selling your car, boat, house, or move out of a rented apartment, we have your solution. Pristine Solutions is a new company that comes directly to your home, car, boat, office, or anywhere and eliminates odors from cigarettes, cigars, animals, food, and much more. A Pristine Solutions team member will take care of everything for you. Our chemical process breaks down and eliminates germs and bacteria that cause odors. Don't lose that security deposit because your pet had too many accidents or because you're a smoker. Call Pristine Solutions today. Call 561-299-5555 because these guys don't stink.
Thank you for listening to Community Connections with Norma G. We're the place where we talk about your business, a product, an idea, or a project to get the word out to our community. I'm your host, occupational therapist Norma Guerrero. Today we are sharing our passions while connecting with our community. Give us a call at 888-565-1470 and join our conversation. Don't forget to tune in every Monday night at 5 to 6 p.m. to join me, Norma G, and our guests to find out about what's hot, what's new, and what's happening in our community. Can't wait to see you there. Now let's rejoin the show. It's like a sundial.
Really?
Yes. Welcome back to Community Connections with Norma G, and I'm excited about our next segment. We have Mr. Jude Averill, Ambassador Financial Services, and you are listening to us live on Community Connections with Norma G on Facebook, as well as on 95.3 FM, 1470 AM, and iHeartRadio app at 1470 AM WNN. If you have any calls, any questions for our guest today, you can reach us at 888-565-1470. You might want to find out a little bit about the state of your own real estate today. Jude Averill is the owner and CEO of Ambassador Financial Services, and he's a real estate and mortgage broker. And his mantra is that one-stop shopping for real estate, your real estate and mortgage needs.
Yes.
That's
indeed,
awesome.
Norma.
So nice to meet you, Jude.
Nice to meet you, Norma. How are you today?
I'm fantastic.
Good.
You know, we had a great conversation the other day when we were talking about all the services that you offer at your firm.
Correct.
And so tell me your background and history and how you got involved in this.
Actually, I started in banking for many years ago. For those of you that have been in South Florida for a while, and Barnett Bank, it was the first bank that I worked for.
Barnett Bank. I haven't heard that name.
It's been a while. So,
gosh, 20 years plus?
Yes, 20 plus years. So, as you know, banking is a small role, so I traveled to quite a few of them. And the last one that I worked for was PNC. And I used to be the manager in West Palm. And after that, I went on my own and started doing mortgages. And later on, I added on real estate.
Wow.
And I've been doing that since.
And is it something that you felt that having the two of them, because I don't think that most real estate agents are mortgage brokers.
Correct. I started
or am
to
I
do that.
wrong?
You're perfectly correct. And the reason I started doing it, I think it added value to what I was doing already, and also helped me to help that client a lot better. The transaction becomes seamless. You know, I don't have to call that mortgage broker 20,000 times to find out what's the status, because I already have the information on hand. In addition, when a realtor start, showing homes, if I give you a pre-approval letter as a mortgage broker, your tax in your HOA can be higher than what I predicted, than what I assume.
Mm-hmm.
And that, if that person is borderline, it pretty much can create a challenge when you're already in contract and you come to a point where the loan can get done. So it can create there are some challenges that I prevent from happening by having to do everything in one house.
You know, it's when I bought my home, I know I had a realtor, and I don't recall her telling me that she was a mortgage broker, and I think that we went out to someone else, and I kind of, I think that the important thing when you're working with a realtor is that you trust them,
Correct.
and that you build a rapport and relationship with them, and everyone has different levels of knowledge, and your expertise at this point with so many years in banking, and then with the mortgage broker, and then adding the real estate license, really puts you in a very unique position where you can really counsel somebody.
Indeed. And even working with other realtors, it makes the job a lot easier because I can speak their language. And when I'm realtor in a transaction for someone who has a lender from somewhere else, I can speak their language also. So communication comes a lot easier, transactions done a lot easier. So it's a win-win for the buyer or the seller, whoever that I'm working with, because my goal is to get that client to that next level.
And what area do you service primarily?
Primarily Palm Beach County. Because I've been in Palm Beach County for 27 years, so I know Palm Beach County very well.
Did you grow up down here?
Yes. Actually, I was born in Haiti and grew up in Haiti, where I've been here for about 27 years, so, and I've been in Palm Beach County the whole time. So
Yeah.
I really know Palm Beach County.
Do you go back? A little bit? Yeah.
Nah,
Well, my mom's Colombian, and I've never been to Colombia, so don't feel bad, you know?
Actually, last time I went there, I went on a mission trip. It was awesome. So it was good, yes.
Yes, I know. I mean, some people go back. Is your family here?
Everybody here.
Everybody's here.
Fortunately.
So that's wonderful. That's wonderful. Well, what is the current state of the real estate market currently right now? Is it a buyer's market? Is it a seller's market?
It is a seller's market, to answer you quickly. And the reason why is because during the boom, a lot of investors purchased a lot of property in Palm Beach County.
When was the boom?
When the market crashed in 2005.
Okay.
2006. So a lot of investors started to buy a lot of properties in 2006, 7, and 8.
Because everything was low.
Exactly. And these major companies, they are holding on to those properties. Right now, as you can, I don't know if you ever know anyone who's trying to rent a property, it's very expensive. And the same token, anyone who's trying to buy a property, especially in the lower end, anything from $300,000 or below, it's extremely hard to find something. So people are fighting for it at this time. So it makes it a little bit harder. So for anyone who wants to sell a property in that price range also, they can get a little bit more bang for their buck because, hey, you know what? People are fighting for, it's the supply and demand.
So they can get the highest bidder.
Exactly, they can get the highest bidder a lot easier.
Wow, that's incredible. And what type of services do you offer at Ambassador Financial Services besides just the mortgage broker or the real estate? Or, what subcategories fall underneath that?
I do not have everything under one roof in that respect, other than the mortgage and the real estate. I work very closely with insurance companies and financial professionals that can do, if somebody needs life insurance. I want to be able for them to get all their financial needs right there. And if you need someone to do, an evaluation to find out how much you need to retire, I have somebody that I can refer you to. So I have a lot of partners that I work with. But for the most part, my focus here at Ambassador is mortgage and real estate.
And so if someone is trying to buy a home, is obviously people's credit scores, affects interest rates.
Oh, big time.
Big time.
Yeah.
And so if someone has a decent credit score, 700 above, what are the current interest rates that people currely are looking at?
At 700 and above, you can get the best rate. Okay, because mortgages, the way they rate them, a couple of points is not going to make a big difference if you're not on the low side of it. So anytime you are 680 or more, you will get definitely a good rate. So the rate right now is about like 4.2, 4.3, and rate changes every day. The
Give or
buyer,
take.
Exactly. The buyer doesn't know that aspect of it, but for us in the industry, we know when we can see a rate in the morning, in the afternoon is not the same. But how big of a difference? Generally not big enough for us, for the person to be concerned. But at the end of the day, at 680 or more, you can get a very good rate.
And wasn't it a few years back in the threes, the interest rate?
Actually, just before the election, it was still in the high threes. And immediately after the election, and we started to go up because the market confidence started to get a little bit stronger, and the rate started to go up. And just a couple of weeks ago, it went down a little bit, just slightly. Again, I monitor it that close because I work with it day to day. But for a buyer, they don't really look at it that close. And for them, honestly, it doesn't really make that much of a difference. We're talking about 0.1, 0.2, 0.3 here and there. So it doesn't really make
So when you say that the market got stronger, so therefore the interest rates went up, I'm thinking it would do the opposite. Because if I'm the person that wants to go get a loan, and if the market is stronger globally or nationally, wouldn't the interest rates be lower on my end? So I don't have to, you know what I mean?
But the economy is getting stronger here in the U.S. Therefore, people's confidence level, they're willing to buy. And the fact that they're willing to buy more, then at that point, people say, hey, you know what? Since the economy is doing well, the market can go, the Fed started to change the rates also upward. So with that,
so the Fed capitalize on it.
Correct.
A little.
I mean, the Fed kept the rate very low for a very long time.
Right.
So it's definitely about time. In fact, just before the election, Janet Yellen's plan was to increase the rate, but because of the election, she had to stay put and start making changes after that.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. So if someone has a home and they want to sell it versus someone is looking for a home and wants to buy it, what advice do you have for the buyer or the seller?
Okay. For the seller now, if you allow me to start this way, I would say definitely do some, repairs if needed, making sure you do have for the house to be well presented, because first impression counts.
Stage it.
Definitely, you have to stage your property well. Do some little curb appeal. If the house needs to be painted. What I even recommend to my clients, getting a home inspection done. Once you do that home inspection, that inspector will come in there, pretend like a buyer is getting this property, trying to see all the issues first. And if you get these issues resolved and you remove all the extras in the house, the extra furniture that you don't need, put them in the storage. Because the freer the property is, the easier someone's going to say, okay, well, I see what I can do here, I see what I can do there, and be ready to make a decision. So I help them with that process. That also gives you more dollars.
So if you let's say you're trying to sell your home and you know that you have some leaky something, or
fix it.
Is it right? But some people won't fix it because maybe they don't have the money, or for whatever, or maybe they're just too busy, whatever the reason is.
Right.
But that will get exposed eventually.
Of course.
Because
9 out of 10, that inspector who's coming to do that inspection will see that.
Because the person that's trying to get the loan to buy your house has to get an inspection, correct?
Exactly.
So that's your advice to the seller.
To the seller. Again, like I said, it does help you get a little bit more money. The fact that you can tell the person who's coming to buy, I just did a home inspection, I resolved all the major issues, or all the issues that that came forth. Now they realize you took care of the house. You make it easier for the buyer to do the transactions. Again,
it helps you get more money, as well as it also helps you sell it faster.
Indeed. Now, for the buyer, I'll say first thing, number one, if you know your budget, know your budget is number one, and two, know your credit, because credit determines what kind of rate you're going to pay, like we mentioned earlier. So if you do these two things and you work with an excellent professional who knows what they're doing, you'll be fine.
And do you do any type of counseling, or do you refer to anybody if somebody comes to you and then their credit is out of whack? What do you recommend to people as a banker?
I usually recommend people. Here's the thing. Unfortunately, credit repair companies do not have a pretty good rap, and depending on the person's ability to do things in their own, it's a very simple process, but you have to know how. I can guide them through the process so they can do it on their own. If you can't do it in your own, or if it's too messy,
you got to help someone.
Exactly.
You got to get some help.
I said, okay, go out there and see if you can find a professional that can assist you. At that point, I have a couple of guys that I know I can refer to.
That's great. And so I have a couple more questions for you, and I know that you wanted to share a little bit more about your company. And so we're going to take a little bit break right now, Jude, and we're going to come back and talk a little bit more about your specialty services that you offer as a real estate broker and a mortgage broker over at Ambassador Financial Services. So this is a great conversation. I'm really enjoying it. So we'll be right back with Community Connections with Norma G.
Are you ready for some awesome chefs-approved Mexican-inspired food? Then check out Los Bocados, where our #1 rule is every bite will be the best bite. Chef Anthony Hoff and Chef Robbie Bushman prepare all items utilizing locally sourced and the healthiest ingredients. We do catered events, corporate lunches, complete family meals, and advanced ordering. Los Bocados is located at 7191 North State Road 7 in Parkland, inside the Chevron. For orders, call 954-637-4984, 954-637-4984, or check out losbocados.com.
PristineSolutions.com.
Attention anyone who smokes, has a pet, or eats. If you're selling your car, boat, house, or move out of a rented apartment, we have your solution. Pristine Solutions is a new company that comes directly to your home, car, boat, office, or anywhere and eliminates odors from cigarettes, cigars, animals, food, and much more. A Pristine Solutions team member will take care of everything for you. Our chemical process breaks down and eliminates germs and bacteria that cause odors. Don't lose that security deposit because your pet had too many accidents or because you're a smoker. Call Pristine Solutions today. Call 561-299-5555 because these guys don't stink.
Are you looking for short-term inpatient rehabilitation or long-term care placement for yourself or a loved one after illness or injury? Whitehall Boca Raton Skilled Nursing and Rehab Facility has served South Florida for over 35 years. With care and oversight from our experienced physicians, Whitehall Boca Raton offers specialized comprehensive nursing and rehab programs in neurological, orthopedic, cardiac, pulmonary, and post-operative surgical care and outpatient therapy provided by our highly experienced nurses and therapists. We accept Medicare and other major insurances. Call 561-392-3000.
Thank you for listening to Community Connections with Norma G. We're the place where we talk about your business, a product, an idea, or a project to get the word out to our community. I'm your host, occupational therapist Norma Guerrero. Today we are sharing our passions while connecting with our community. Give us a call at 888-565-1470 and join our conversation. Don't forget to tune in every Monday night at 5 to 6 p.m. to join me, Norma G, and our guests to find out about what's hot, what's new, and what's happening in our community. Can't wait to see you there. Now let's rejoin the show. Welcome back to Community Connections with Norma G. You are listening to us live on Facebook and at 95.3 FM and 1470 AM. And we are talking to Mr. Jude Averill of Ambassador Financial Services. And when I thank him for coming in today and sharing with us the pros and cons and the good and the bad and the great and the evil related to buying a home, which or selling a home, which it's not as bad as a boat, as what they say, the worst thing you could ever do is own a boat, but one of the greatest things you can ever do is own your own home and or get out of it. And so, we're going to ask him a few more questions, but I do want to thank our sponsors that we had here today with Whitehall Boca, with the Skilled Nursing and Rehab Facility, and with Pristine Solutions. They help get odors and negative bacteria out of your home or car or your any type of apartment setting, as well as Los Bocados, our new sponsors over on Hillsborough and 441. They're great, fresh Mexican cuisine, and we had them on last week. So either check out the show or check out their location over there in West Parkland, and you won't be disappointed. Super delicious. And so, Jude, it's very interesting to me when people talk about financing, refinancing, or reverse mortgages. Can you explain what those are and when is it a good idea to do or not do one with both of those subjects?
Refinance, I tell people, you have to be very careful because a lot of time, the fact the rate just drop a couple of points, half a point, or people get excited thinking, oh, it's a good time for me to refinance, or you get a lot of calls from telemarketers. This is a huge transaction that you do in buying a home. So refinancing it, you have to be very careful with that as well. What's the benefit? You have to, number one, I'll say, look at the rate that you have right now. What rate are you going to get? And the cost of doing the transaction. What is the break-even point to see how long you're going to stand that property? Is it beneficial for me or not?
Right.
Let's say if someone has an interest rate less than half a point, you go ahead and do a refinance just so you can capitalize on that. It's not necessarily a good decision, in my opinion, because the cost saving is not there.
Mm-hmm.
However, they have other areas that you can look at. That's why I said when I work with a client, I look at this full picture. What's the purpose of the refinance? And also, what's the cost of it? What's your break-even point? This way you can tell you, does it make sense for me to do? If you're going to leave the house in 2 or 3 years, and it's going to take you 4 to 5 years for you to break even, why do it?
Right. Right.
Pay that extra 100 or 200, and at the end of the day, you still save more money. And one area people fail to look at, most people who purchased a home in the past 10 years, I would say, 80% of them got what we call an FHA loan.
Mm-hmm.
When you have an FHA loan, you have what we call a mortgage insurance premium that you pay. That stays for the life of the loan. Now, back in the days, when you have an FHA loan, you start paying it down I'm using this example with you. Let's say if you purchase this property for 100,000. I use this, although this is not real. This is not realistic.
Yeah, it's a good number.
It's easy for me to
Yes.
calculate. You purchase that property for $80,000 and for 100,000. You give 3.5% down, which is 3,500,000. So you borrow the difference. Now, as the property value increase, and you start paying down your mortgage, once it reaches 80% of the value, let's say if your property continue to go up in value and then you just go down a little bit on your balance, you can get the bank to remove that mortgage insurance premium that you were paying.
Right.
Whereas now it stays on that loan for the life of it because that's the rule has changed.
Because you got it under that FHA.
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 Correct.
And most people that got loans, mortgages in the last 10 years, weren't the interest rates pretty low?
It's pretty low.
So to refinance,
It may not always be a good thing. Now,
Right.
here's one thing I want to say. When you consider the average price and Dade and Broward and Palm Beach is about $300,000. If you have an FHA loan on a $300,000 loan, your mortgage insurance premium is about $200 and $210 a month. So if you're refinancing to remove that $210, it may make sense. So you have to look at the economics of it.
well, that's why if I were in the market to be buying something or if I owned something right now, I got rid of my apartment. I had to. I had no choice. It was upside down from the market
Correct,
because
correct.
I was I bought it in 2004.
Correct.
And by the time 2014 came around, it was just still hadn't pulled up enough. And
Correct.
at a certain point, I had to cut my losses.
Correct.
But it's much better at this point. And so you try again. And why use Ambassador Financial Services real quick instead of a bank?
To me, you get customized service. If as you know, you have to go do what you have to do every day. If you need to meet with me at 7 o'clock, I can meet with
So
you.
you're
at
more
7 o'clock.
available than
Exactly.
normal banking hours.
Exactly.
Tell me, Jude, how do we find you? What's your website, your phone number? If someone wanted to email you, how can someone get a hold of you so that they wanted to get a consultation about
Sure.
their
I'm right-
portfolio?
I'm right here in Delray, 301 West Atlantic Avenue, right in downtown Delray. My phone number is 561-270-0064, and my email is javril, which is my first initial and last name at bellsouth.net.
All right, so give it to me one more time, really loud over this music.
It's javril at bellsouth.net or call 561-270-0064.
That's great. And so it was a great conversation, and we could continue to talk about finances and the mortgage and the state of the market, because it is really interesting once you really get into it. But mainly if you have your own numbers, let Jude Averill, I called you Averill the other day on the phone. So it'd be a good first name, too. You have a good name. So give him a call. He has a lot of expertise in this area. And so we'll be back next week with Community Connections. And I'm super excited again about Thursday night of hosting the 100 Outstanding Women of Broward County. And check out my site over the week. We're going to be having pictures. And it's my honor and pleasure, and can't wait to host that event this week coming up. So have a great week, everybody.
Awesome.
You've been listening to Community Connections with Norma G. We will be back next Monday from 5 to 6 p.m. with new guests to share about what's hot, what's new, and what's happening in our community. Did you hear something you liked today on our show? Please contact me, Norma G, at 954-802-2015 or email me at ccnormag@gmail.com. I look forward to helping you expand your business, project, or idea and connect with our community.
The opinions expressed on the preceding sponsored program were strictly those of its host, guests, and assessments. Give us a call today to schedule your free consultation. 954-999-8458. The Custom Fitness Institute is here to help you get your health and fitness journey started or to bring your current fitness level to new heights. Call the Custom Fitness Institute today at 954-999-8458. Home of the Rainbow Bagel, My Delicious Deli, brings you home cooking with the Remember When Deli dining experience. Located in central Boca Raton, My Delicious Deli prepares all of their food with the freshest of ingredients cooked to order. From a light nosh and soups to omelets and full entrees, choose from low-fat and gluten-free or indulge in one of My Delicious Deli's signature deli sandwiches. Bring your family and friends to dine in or take out. Open 7 days a week for breakfast, lunch, and dinner to go, or for all of your catering needs. Visit us at mydeliciousdeli.com or give us a call at 561-393-3287. There is something for everyone. Join us at 7036 West Palmetto Park Boulevard in Boca Raton. 954-393-3287.
The opinions expressed on the following sponsored program are strictly those of the host, guests, and callers, and not necessarily those of this station, its staff, management, or sponsors.
Do you ever feel that life is just way too overwhelming?
Do you ever feel like life just gets in the way?
Or how everyone else makes it look so easy and you just can't figure it out?
All the time. And if this sounds like you, then grab a seat, get a cup of Joe or a glass of Merlot, and join the two broads from Boca as we discuss life and those taboo topics that you only talk about behind closed doors.
It is time to open those doors, embrace yourself, and take your power back.
So give us a call at 888-565-1470 and ask those unspoken questions.
Or simply just share an idea.
Oh, hi. Good evening. We are the two broads from Boca, and we are live coming to you from WWNN in Boca Raton. This is my beautiful co-host, Dawn.
Hi, I'm Dawn Graubert. Welcome to Two Broads from Boca. It is Monday. Today on set, I said have a wonderful Wednesday, and it was only Monday. So have a magical Monday. We're back to Monday.
That's a very good segue for that's what a nurse feels like. So I just want to wish all my colleagues a happy Nurses Week. I am very proud to be among you. And all of you need to call your representative for fair nursing staffing. Only state in the union that has it is California, so I'm asking all of you to just give a call to your representative. If it's Rubio, give him a call. He's going to be running again soon. And tell him to talk about fair nursing practice and standards and patient ratio. Makes you safe, makes us happy. It's all good. But happy Nurses Week to all my nurses.
Happy Nurses Week. You can find us live streaming on our Two Broads from Boca Facebook page. You can also find us on our website, twobroadsfromboca.com, and listen to us on your iHeartRadio app, 1470 AM and 95.3 FM.
Oh,
Give
God,
us a call,
we do this every time.
888-565-1470. 888-565-1470. You want to write that number down? We have a very, very special guest with us today. I'm so excited.
Very special.
We have Julia Aquina Serrano on set with us, and she's going to start sharing. We're going to give you some information on Julia. But how was your weekend before we even get started?
My weekend was tragic. No, it was okay. It was a crazy weekend. My son had the SAT subject test, which he neglected to bring a up-to-date ID, so they turned him away. That was a good Saturday morning, and then he had SAT prep, and then my little one was in D.C. with her little one, and they came home, which was nice, and we made a big family dinner on Sunday, and it goes way too fast. But other than
it goes
that,
way too fast? Well, you know what? I was an empty nester, and someone congratulated me today on officially being an empty nester, and I said, excuse me?
Not again!
I said, because they're both home. And they went, what do you mean? I said, my children are both living back home with me. So my empty nesting is over. I now have a full house again with adults.
She will also be in a bad mood.
So I do not have little children anymore. I have now grown adults living in my house who are adulting again for the first time with us.
And how is that?
It's a new journey. Julie and I will be chatting on that journey one day. It's a new journey. I'm very blessed and grateful.
Are you also on that journey now too?
And thrilled. My kids are home.
We have an open house.
But Julie has open house policy, and she will soon be approaching that journey as well.
Really?
So, but it's all good.
God, it never stops.
Everyone's home.
It never stops.
I was at Publix today at 4 o'clock in the afternoon, where I have not been at Publix at 4 o'clock in the afternoon, probably in 9 months.
I neglected to tell you that I was at Publix yesterday myself, but not once, not twice, 3 times. 3 times within 3 hours.
I'll hook you up with Fit Food Fresh.
No, let me just tell you something right now.
2 bags today.
It's very sad when the people tell you, "Oh, you're here again? Weren't you just here?" Yeah, I was. Yeah, it was a great weekend.
So anyway, it's Monday.
Your hair looks nice.
Thank you.
I like it.
I tried a new place last weekend called Salt Suite.
Very nice.
But it's not hair, it's a salt suite. It's where you go into the salt room.
Here she goes.
Oh my gosh.
And what does it do for you?
You
go to the ocean, free.
You pay them to sit in, and
Practical.
it's for asthma and breathing and psoriasis.
Don't get me started.
But you know what? I slept. So it's like I paid them to sleep, and no one talked to me for 45 minutes.
Say this.
It was the best money ever.
I am copywriting this, trademarking it right now. If anyone wants to do a business with me, if you have a thing for mothers to go take a nap, you will be a millionaire, but it will be with me.
I saw that on Facebook. Rent a bed.
Yeah, no,
I'm sure it was a joke.
A mother will sleep in the parking lot in her car if she's protected. Listen to me. I'm on. Call
Freddie,
me.
it's the parking lot. We need to protect again.
1-888-565-1470. I'm on to something.
Julia, your coaching needs to keep growing.
I know.
All right, let's introduce Julia because.
All right, if we must
Go. I'm going to let you do the honors.
Well, it's a very ironic story here. I know Julia, we're going on 11 years now. Our children started pre-K 3 together, which we should have been jailed for, but that's a whole other story. That's a whole other show. But our children started school at 3 years old together, and we met, and we became very fast friends, and been through a lot since then. And Dawn knows Julia, and Julia was the one who introduced Dawn and me. So Julia is responsible for the two boards from Boca, technically.
That's right. I'm taking full
responsibility for what it is.
And if the better it gets, I'm taking even more responsibility.
All right,
there
so
you
come
go.
on, let's go. Let's celebrate. So how long do you know Julia?
My husband went to high school with Julia and Glenn, so a long time. But I've only known you for about 9 years, I think, since our kids were in high school.
All right, well, that's the story of Julia. But however, Julia was here for a whole bunch of other reasons. Julia is the outgoing president of the
National Association of Women Business Owners.
There you go. And she has a zillion businesses. She's very brilliant. And she's beautiful, too.
Oh,
so we're going to talk about your Teas for Humanity tonight and your event that's coming up on Thursday, which the Broads will be at.
Yay.
So go ahead. Start talking.
30 minutes is not enough.
It's not enough.
It's not enough.
So are we talking
Thursday,
about NABO? Or?
Yeah,
Okay,
let's talk about NABO first. So the National Association of Women Business Owners has actually been around since 1975.
When I was a little girl.
Yes, but for those of us that were little girls in the 1970s, the environment for women was very, very different. I still don't think we're where we need to be, but it was very different. And so NABO was started actually for women business owners because nothing was set up for women. Back in the 80s.
Much like the health care bill, but that's another story too.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
But back in I want to say 82 or 83, NABO was instrumental in getting a bill passed where we as women could get loans for our businesses on our own without a male's signature, be it our son, our brother, our friend, or our husband. We could not get a loan as a woman without a male's signature. Until like 1983.
So NABO was instrumental in passing that, which is truly amazing. And people don't understand. People have not even heard of it. NAWBO, when you explain what it is, then they get it. But think about how much legislation you've passed.
Yep.
And how much great work you do.
When, how many years ago we got the right to vote, and you're talking about in the 80s still having to worry about that.
Yeah. And still, even today, if you look at even the SBA will tell you the percentage of loans that goes to women business owners versus men is still... there's a huge disparity. There's many reasons, but the point is that NABO exists to support women business owners to become successful leaders in their businesses and in the community. And so we are not only advocates for women, but we also support them to grow and learn, educate, and mentorship. Mentorship is what's so important, which is why Thursday's event is so important.
Tell them about Thursday's event.
What is Thursday's event?
So Thursday's event is our first annual Mentor May. And we have invited a large population of women. There will obviously be men there as well. But the intention is we've brought 6 or 7 amazing women from the community that have experience in business, that are very successful, to mentor anyone who requests it. So they're going to be able to walk up to a woman there, and we're going to have a panel and ask any question they want about business, about life, and gain their experience.
Wow. We're going to be there
conversation.
All night. I'm bringing a bed and my toothbrush because how many months did I go through training with you and coaching with you? 6 months. And still, I call you all the time, and there's more and more. And I say, so this is going to be just a finite glimpse, ladies, of what you can have to look forward to with NABO, to reach to the other coaches, the other businesses that are going to be there.
We have
Any business,
amazing businesses
right?
coming.
You told me from startups and just a thought in your mind to large corporations.
Yep. Large companies. And, Bank of America is one of NABO's largest sponsors. And, oops, sorry.
That's okay. Happens all the time here. Happens all the time here.
And so we're very well supported by large businesses as well as people that are starting up or starting over.
So now let me ask you this. You are going to be the stepping down from being the president. And how long was your tenure?
It was supposed to be a year. It was 2.
Oh, nice.
Yes. So I keep saying it's bittersweet. I can't wait. But it also was an amazing.
So now, do you take the
2
role
years.
as past president
I
on
do.
as well? Okay.
For another year.
And who is
and before that, for a year, I was
like the
interim
mafia,
president.
You can't get out.
She was president.
So
she was president.
who is going to be taking your spot?
Patty Nolan.
Okay.
Patty Nolan. Yeah, she's amazing too. She has a company. She's a copywriter.
Oh, nice.
And she is brilliant and will be amazing. And then she actually has a president-elect, so her tenure should only be a year.
Now, how does one join or become a part of this association?
Well, I always recommend that someone come to a meeting first because then you'll get to see, look, not everything's not for everyone.
Sure.
And so they come to a meeting. If they go to our website, which is nabobroward.org, NAWBO Broward.org, they can get all the information they want on the actual event under events, and they can learn about membership. And if they go to nabo.org, they'll actually learn about how the organization started and all the great things we do.
So Thursday night's Mentoring May. It's at the Marriott Cypress Creek North.
Yes.
There's 2 Marriotts.
Between Cypress Creek and Atlantic on Andrews.
So it's on Andrews. So make sure when you get off of 95, you head north on Andrews. It's from 6 to 9.
Correct.
Mentoring May. There's some incredible women mentors that are going to be there.
Yes.
I know you have vendors. It is open to the public. Tickets are so inexpensive. I'm telling you, you don't want to miss. It's $20.
$20, and it includes dinner.
Oh, nice.
$20. NABO, NAWBO, Broward.org. Go on, get your tickets. Stop by and see Two Broads. We're so honored to be one of your sponsors. We're going to be there.
We are so grateful to have you. So grateful.
You're lucky. Come on. No.
There's
Tell
going to
me
be
where we
dinner.
are.
There's
She's excited.
mentoring. Come with your ideas. I know Fit Food Fresh is going to be there. I know we've got some makeup, cakes.
Angry Peacock Production is also a sponsor.
I love Angry
Yeah.
Peacock.
You know, I never knew their name was Angry Peacock, but now I know who Angry Peacock is.
I love that.
Yes.
Because someone said to me, Angry Peacock is coming to the studio tonight. I said, and who are they? But now I understand who they are because they're sitting out in the lobby.
I like that name.
So they're going to be doing the video production. So we're going to be working with them. You've got some mentor. I know you have Mary Wong. You've got Bank America.
Myself.
You're going to be there.
Yep. Kavita Sahai. Just Mary Adams. Amazing women.
And you also have a Palm Beach chapter.
Yes. Well, what we have is a Palm Beach satellite.
Okay,
So
of
it's
the
all
Broward.
part of Broward, but it's a satellite. And a lot of those women are going to be there as well. It's just going to be amazing.
You're going to recognize so many of the women because we've had them on the multiple shows here at WNN. We've had them up at the Brooklyn Cafe. It's like a big network of family.
Yes.
So your Broward chapter oversees the Palm Beach County chapter, but it's closer to those people in Palm Beach County. And I know, what do they meet? How often do each meet?
The Palm Beach chapter is a little different. They're actually run like a mastermind. So they meet on the third Tuesday of every month in Delray. And they are a mastermind group. So you actually just meet to talk about your business.
Oh,
So
cool.
it's very, very, very powerful.
And you meet Broward how often?
Every month as well. But we are this second Thursday of every month.
So you can go to nabobroward.org for more information. We're going to take a quick break. Give us a call when you come back, 1-888-565-1470. We'll see you in a few.
This portion of our show has been sponsored by Edelman, Barron, and Schreibman, MD-PA, board-certified physicians in pulmonary, critical care, and sleep medicine. Offices are conveniently located in Boca Raton and Delray Beach, Florida. 561-488-2988.
Join the Two Broads from Boca for a night of fun and blingo as they help raise awareness for Abby's Place, a nonprofit school dedicated to building the skills of children with autism and complex disabilities to create a foundation for lifelong success. Sunday, May 21st at 5:30 p.m. at the Heron Bay Clubhouse in Parkland, Florida. Get your best bling on and help raise scholarship and summer camp respite funds for these special children and families. For more information, contact Abby's Place at abbysplace.com. That's ABISplace.com or 954-753-4444. 888-565-4841.
Hey, 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 grab your glass of Merlot.
Or your cup of coffee. And if you want to join in on the fun, give us a call at 888-565-1470.
Let's rejoin the two broads from Boca. And we're back. Welcome back to the two broads from Boca. We're having a magical Monday on our set. Give us a call, 888-565-1470. You can find us live streaming on Facebook, Two Broads from Boca. You can also find us on our website, twobroadsfromboca.com, or give us a call, 888-565-1470. But we're on 95.3 FM and 1470 AM. We're here with Julia Aquino Serrano.
Hello.
We can throw in Beatrice in there somewhere. You have a lot of beautiful
names.
Who is the outgoing president of NABO, National Association of Women Business Owners. They have an event coming up Thursday at the Marriott Cypress Creek. But there's so much more to Julia than the event. So can we just talk a little bit about what you do? Because you have done so much for me, for Amy, for so many women and children and families in this community that I just have to brag about you.
Yeah. Oh, thank you.
So what else do you do that we're allowed to speak about?
Okay, so a lot. I have a company called All Systems Grow where I do strategy and operational consulting for companies. And my newest venture is Teas for Humanity. I believe so deeply in positive messages, and the energy we put out is the energy we get back. And I figured we might as well say it on a shirt.
I love it.
And spread our messaging throughout the world. I say we're making a difference one T-shirt at a time, and $1 from every T-shirt also goes to certain charities. We started with MetaViber, which is a charity for metastatic breast cancer.
Wow. So $1 from a T-shirt goes to that. Your T-shirts will be at your event on Thursday.
Yep. And Julia's going to make T-shirts for the broads.
Your T-shirts will be there. And you also do coaching, and you're starting on a new endeavor.
Called She Defined.
Which is?
And that is really going to be my focus, is focusing on growing women. I said I've spent 10 years growing businesses, and now I want to grow people, and in particular women. And so She Defined is going to be about us disrupting our beliefs to define our lives.
It's hard to do that.
It's
very hard to do that.
But it can be done. It can be done.
It's hard, but
it's
a
slippery slope. It's a slippery slope. But also, none of us have ever done this alone. And so it's having that support to help you to get to that place that you want to go. We can go. We're born with the power to go there. So it's really helping women to get to where they choose to be.
There are many times in my life that, you used to hear your mother or your father in your ear. I now have Julia in my ear saying, set your boundaries, define what you want, say what you have to say, don't be passive aggressive. So now I have Julie in my head, which is all good.
No, it's true.
It's pulling up your big girl panties, right?
That's
as you
what
say.
I always say
we just got to go.
It's time to put the big girl's panties on and do the full tilt boogie. But it is not easy. It is not easy to change how you were raised, how you believe, and trying to be your own person.
It's true.
I live it every day. And like I told you today, it was like running around the kitchen with the whipper in my hand, whipping mashed potatoes, getting the meatloaf in the oven, getting dressed, talking to a magazine on the phone, and trying to get here. It's hard.
But 20 years ago, you may not have even been able to see that you've gotten your PhD and could actually manage all this. And so you've had to jump over hurdles to get to this place anyway.
Honey, hoops.
Yes.
Lots of hoops. But it's really important that you're doing this because
thank you.
Having gone through all this alone, it was hard. It would have been nice to have somebody to just call and say, please kill me. It's hard because you feel like even though you're setting your goal, it's a very slippery, guilty slope, like you said, because am I neglecting my children? Am I neglecting my husband? Am I neglecting my family? But what about me? And it's nice to have somebody reinforce that it's okay.
That it's okay.
It's okay.
And that's the point. Yeah, it's all okay. And, I say all the time, if we're going to make a choice, we might as well live with it.
Absolutely.
And so the guilt thing doesn't play as much in my world because of that, because I'm like, I made the choice. But what we do really in working with women is, someone asked me the other day in a retreat, women and men think differently. And I said, absolutely. And it's not wrong or bad or good.
No, it's just different.
It's just different. And so my coaching with women is very different than my coaching with men.
Of course it is.
And, the impact with women is bigger. It just is. And so I know that the changes that can come are so much easier than they believe. And so that's where my joy comes, is being able to see the change and being able to see someone that stands up and says, you know what, count me in.
Well, Julie was my first interview before we even started Two Broads. When I was first starting the other show, she sat here with me on Tell Us Your Biz. And I thought, oh my gosh, can I do this? And this was less than a year ago. And we went through coaching. There were 5 of us. Mm-hmm. Not a Sunday went by where someone didn't cry, where she didn't give a hug.
It's true, though.
When we would have our personal sessions, if I could get through one without tearing up, was a miracle. And there she was, holding your hand every step of the way. And I would doubt men sit and cry with you. But how can people find you? Because now I know everyone wants a coach. I know I sent you someone last week. She says, I need to help relaunch my business.
Well, we are in the middle of launching the website, so it's not ready yet. But they can find me at julia@allsystemsgrow.co. That's my email. That's probably the best way to find me.
Allsystemsgrow.co, C-O.
C-O, or julia@tees4humanity.com.
And what do you have coming up this summer? Can we give a little tidbit?
Yes. So in July, we have our first women's retreat.
Oh.
And it's going to be limited to 8 women, and it's going to be on a beach. And it's going to be...
You going?
It's going to be, it's going to be, a...
Limited to 6 now.
That's right.
Go on your waitlist, ladies.
We're going to mix some spiritual work with business.
When is this in July?
It's going to be either the weekend of the 21st or 28th. I'm working with 2 hotels right now.
I will be in New Jersey.
You'll have to wait. You'll have a private session with
Julia.
Julia.
You'll do the September one.
Okay, for my birthday.
Yes.
Yay for me.
Yes. And so it's going to be a great mixture of business and dealing with our stuff and getting through it.
You just need me there, that's all.
And
there's so
forgiving
much
and
stuff.
loving and moving on.
There's so much stuff, and when you get past the guilt, my guilt of not cooking, can I tell you, it has released.
You never had that guilt.
So much that not only do I not even bother trying anymore. Done. Don't even try. I just order the food company, and you know what? Came to you with 2 big bags.
What?
There are 10 meals in my fridge. Lasts us through Wednesday. Done. So what happens? My son says, well, there's not enough food for me for lunch and snack.
Oh.
I guess I got to go to Publix.
Did you say you're 23 years old? Go to Publix?
I said, I guess you need to go to Publix because these are dinners. I work Monday night. I work this night. This is not for you as a snack. But done. And it was the best thing. I just gave up. I said, I cannot do it all. I can't work 5 days.
Can't do it all.
3 nights, shop, be mom, play wife, do laundry, grow business, and cook.
Well, that's my life right there.
So, you know what? But she was right. Once you can release that guilt and say, there's someone that gives me another alternative, go.
That's the whole thing. There are certain things that I don't want to give up. Like, I love to cook. That's my therapy.
And
then that's what you stick with.
That's what you stick with.
what I'm
That's the
saying.
cool thing. It's when we're doing it because we feel like we have to, or because we feel like that person's going to judge us if we don't.
I have to tell you the story because I have never done this, and I was thinking of you actually yesterday. It must be like her vibe. This morning, I said, I have an appointment at 8:15. We have to get going. And they were like jacking around, So I'm like, okay. So I just looked at my husband and was like, guess you're driving them this morning. And I went right into the shower. And I think everybody was like, I'm like, sorry, I got things to do.
Good.
And that was it.
Setting your boundaries.
I was so proud of myself. I was in the shower doing
the words.
I was like, yes, girl, you go. Because I was like done.
I say that all the time, and someone, Freddie, my other co-host, said, I need to meet the person who taught you the word setting boundaries. He says, because now you always tell me, set the boundaries. He said, who taught you this? I thought you were going to meet him Monday.
My husband said to me, you need to set limits. So I went in, I walked away and I'm like, okay, well, here comes one. I'm like, well, I guess you got to have to take them. And it was glorious. I got to take a shower calmly and wash my hair and get ready for my appointment and be on time.
Just when we put the guilt away. Can we look at some of your T-shirts while we have some time?
Can I show the camera?
Please.
This is my favorite. I am the B word. Brave. Isn't that awesome?
But you can use any B word on the back.
Any B word, and I think you all know which word I would be using.
And you're going to have the press at NABO? Are you going to have the press at the event? I don't mean press like media, but the T-shirt.
I really want this shirt. I like it a lot.
Just tell me what you want the B word to be.
Bigger because it'll only fit one of my boobs.
And they'll do custom orders. They'll do large orders. Tees, T-E-E-S for humanity. You can find them on Instagram, Facebook. Let it be. Let it go.
This is my favorite one, though, just
I like
especially for women.
The hoodie?
I want a zip hoodie, Jules.
So what does it say?
To change the world.
Use your outside voice.
Use your outside voice. And we all know that Dawn and I have an outside voice, even on the inside. This is very awesome. Gotta get a zip tee.
Yes, we'll get a zip
Love a
tee,
zip
and then
tee.
we can do
And you've got
Choose
lines.
Love.
You've got the hero line.
Yep, we've got the hero line
Choose
for first
Love.
responders.
So there's a hero line for first responders.
We need to do nurse shirts.
There's this
Be
line.
happy
There's so
to.
many lines. They're going to be at the NABO event, NAWBO,
And Julia is going
Broward.org.
to get Broads from Boca stuff ready for our
Yes.
website and for our Facebook page.
Yes,
So
yes.
you can order us and wear me on your back, on your shirt.
Julie, where can we find you?
You can find me
Your email?
My email, which I gave earlier, julia@allsystemsgrow.co. You can check us out at allsystemsgrow.co or TES4humanity.com.
And of course, come Thursday night, check out the Two
We would
Broads,
love it.
NABOBroward.org. Thursday night, 6 to 9 at Marriott Cypress Creek North on Andrews Avenue. Only $20 a ticket, includes dinner, mentoring May, some incredible women. Man, you can come too for fun.
Yep.
The great odds, so if you're looking to meet a woman,
I was just going to
guys,
say,
come on
pick up
over.
a girl.
It's going to be fun. Have a magical Monday, everyone. Thank you, Julia.
Thank you. Thank you for having me
We will
on.
not be here next week, right?
We will be here next
we will
week.
Be, I'm sorry,
it's
we
the
will
15th,
be here.
but we'll be at NABO on Thursday.
Yes.
We'll see you next
Bye.
week. Bye-bye.
You've been hanging with the Two Broads from Boca.
If you have gained some confidence or an idea to create a better day, then we have made a difference.
Join us every Wednesday night at 7 p.m. on WWNN.
Give us a call, feel inspired as we continue to open those doors and have some fun.
The opinions expressed on the preceding sponsored program were strictly those of its hosts.
Opportunities in the futures markets. Let Waltz Trading offer you a free, no-obligation assessment that may prove fruitful in 2017. Waltz would remind our listeners that investments in futures contracts bear the risk of loss and may not be suitable for all investors. Be sure to review your financial situation before investing with Waltz Trading, Inc. info@waltztrading.com. Call 1-800-993-5449.
The opinions expressed on the following sponsored program are strictly those of the hosts, guests, and callers, and not necessarily those of this station, its staff, management, or sponsors.
Are you kidding me? Who told you that?
It's a known fact.
No. Incorrect. Incorrect. You are absolutely incorrect.
Everybody knows at school.
There's always three sides to a story: his, hers, and the truth. Welcome to He Said, She Said, South Florida Style, starring Amy Schreibman and Mike L. Mudici.
Typical caveman response.
Logic versus illogic.
Yes, and apparently I am the only one with logic in the room.
My wife tells me that all the time.
Exactly.
Listen to learn more about what he said and about what she said.
How does Noah deal with this?
He deals with it very well because I am in charge,
Understood.
as most women are.
Not in my household.
Oh, please, please stop it now.
Now, Abby's in charge
You're damn right she's in charge.
when she's home with the kids.
And maybe, just maybe, you can pick a side. And now, here's Dr. Amy Schreibman and Mike L. Mudici with our show.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to He Said, She Said, South Florida Style. We are back together. Michael is back finally. Welcome back.
The band is back together.
The band is back together. Please know that you can get us on WWNN 1470 AM, 95.3 FM, and you can call us at 1-888-565-1470, or you can visit us on our website at www.hesaidshesaidsofla.com or on our Facebook page, He Said, She Said, South Florida Style. Now, I've done all the tags. I'm
You've done all the
exhausted.
tags. You did so well.
I know, don't I? But anyway, so what's cooking? How was the GR?
I think we should just jump into what
Let's
we were
just
talking
jump
about.
into what we were talking. Okay, I am in a very,
She's
very
in a rip-roaring
mood.
Rare mood.
Yeah, very, very rare mood. Because
You sound like my other wife.
No,
my
it's
main
no.
wife.
I have to tell you why. I don't understand why.
Here we go.
And I mean this for sincerity. Ladies, back me up on this. Men, I don't care if you don't, but ladies, back me up on this. Why is it that when you betroth and you decide that you're going to have children, you become the teacher, the caretaker, the cook, the housekeeper, the manager of everything, and no one says thank you or anything. Meanwhile, your husband takes out the trash, or your son feeds the dog, and you have to have the parade of thank you. Who's thanking me? Who is thanking me?
It goes both ways.
Oh, come on.
It goes both ways.
What goes both ways? That no one does anything but me.
I disagree. And I don't know your household. I know you do a lot. I know you do a lot because I know you have three jobs. You have three
I
jobs.
have 3 jobs. I'm a mother and I'm a wife.
And you're making your family wonderful meals all the time.
Every night, even tonight, as I was getting dressed, I was whipping mashed potatoes for them so that when they got home, all the food was there for them. I don't mind doing stuff, but once in a while, cut me a break. This morning, I lost my mind.
You lost your mind?
I did.
Is that what you wanted to say?
Said, no, I just said I had an appointment at 8:15. I know that it's not important to everybody else, but I had a nail appointment this morning. I did not want to be late, okay? And I said to him, we got to go now. And everybody was jacking around. And I said to my husband, can you help me? He's like, you need to set boundaries. So I walked away. I came back. I said, okay, you're taking them to school this morning.
That's
I
the new
need to
boundary.
shower. He was not pleased, but I took a stand. And I
think
took a
that's good.
shower. I washed my hair.
You have to take a stand. You have to take a stand. But you have to create boundaries, not just for your husband, but for your kids.
No, it wasn't for
but
my
for
husband.
yourself.
I mean, I'm not his mother, but I'm just saying it's for yourself.
It's for
I
yourself.
think we, as women, sometimes become so much to everybody that we forget to set a
Feeds
boundary
on itself. It
but
feeds
I
on
also
itself.
think because there's lack of boundaries, the relationship between your mate suffers from that.
100%.
It
I know
suffers from
firsthand,
that.
obviously. We have 3 boys.
And kids learn how to play each parent.
Right. No doubt about it.
My oldest plays me like a violin. I am telling you now. My little one, because you learn from the first one. You ruin the first one. So by the time the second one comes
Joe,
around.
you listen to this,
Joe, you listening? But by the second time, when the second one, you're like, don't even play that game with me, pal. I invented it. But the first one, you're like, you don't want to hurt their psyche and blah, blah, blah,
That's
blah,
a blah,
blah.
blah, blah.
But, he plays me like a violin.
I think, I think women have it's totally a sexist comment, but it's just human nature.
Gee, that's a shock.
No, but listen, it's not a sexist comment. It's just human nature. I think women, or mothers, I should say, are much more caring, comforting to their kids than dads, and that's a generalization.
I don't know.
It's a sexist generalization.
I don't know if it's more caring, but I think that we rule with emotion.
Exactly, but that's
That's
caring.
what I
That's
think.
caring.
Well, I think you guys care equally, but I
Listen.
think you're a little bit more analytical about things.
I think the best analogy is when the kids are playing outside and somebody gets hurt, whatever. They fall, they trip, they get a little scab on their knee, whatever it is. Again, a generalization, but the moms, go over, are you okay?
Yeah.
Are you, them give you a hug. And I think that's fine when you're 4 and 5 and 6 years
not
old.
when you're big.
But when you're, 9, 10, again, I'm not saying they shouldn't be
comforted, right.
I'm not saying they shouldn't be taken care of. Make sure that, hey, you're not really bleeding that badly, or you are, we got to get you help.
On
That's a
that,
different story.
but again, I think
that causes a problem.
I also think it's different in every head. Like, I'm a nurse. I'm like, dude,
Well,
walk
yeah.
it off. You know what I'm saying?
But most women aren't.
No, I know,
most
and I
moms
get,
don't.
but I get that. I mean, but it was so different just between the first and the second.
Sure, because you'll learn.
The
But
second
everybody
one, I was
learns.
like, yeah, all right, come on, The
Right.
first one, you were like, and he was a preemie, and like the minutes, like, don't even breathe in his direction. And the second one was like, whatever,
Yeah.
Come on,
You
get
didn't
over
wash your
yourself.
hands.
Exactly, you didn't wash your hands. Come here, let mommy, let me spit on you. It's different. But that's the whole thing. I think parenting in general, there's no learning curve. It is on the job. And then you get the first one, and the second one is a totally different being, and so you're like, oh my God, here we go again. I have no idea what I'm
take
doing.
it a step further. There's no book how to be a good parent.
No, there isn't.
It's going to be for you. There's no book on how to be a good wife or a spouse,
I just
partner.
wrote the book now.
No, but there
No,
isn't.
it's hard.
And the challenges are different
It's
every day.
very hard. It is very, very difficult. And I think the longer you're married, I think it becomes a challenge because I never believed people.
2 days is a challenge.
No, but seriously, like little children, little problems, big children, bigger problems. And that's the truth.
Stop being
and
a
I
child.
find now, don't have kids. No, I find now it
get
is
married?
really, it's hard between your mate because all this nonsense is in the middle.
Right. No, I agree.
And it's hard. It's not that it's nonsense. I don't mean to, minimize children's needs, but it's difficult.
Demonize.
No, it's not. It's true. But don't you find it difficult to separate the two and have your life back?
Right. I think that's difficult. I think it's very challenging, but I also think it's very challenging because also when you're newlyweds and you're both starting out in your careers or whatever, you're both starting out, you have new stresses, but it's all fresh, it's all young. You're
Right.
low on the totem
Well, it's
pole.
that new relationship
Right.
energy
You're excited
and that
and
whole
blah, blah, blah.
right.
But then you have the kids and you're excited about that. You can focus on that. You have a mutual point of focus. But when the kids get a little older, the mutual point of focus is different. And that makes it more challenging. And resentment builds up and different things and how you handle things versus how...
Absolutely. And I think that is a big point of consternation in many relationships. And even with us, how I parent them is very different how he parents. So we are really a believer in showing a united front in front of them. Mm-hmm. And then afterward...
Does that always work?
Usually it does, but God forbid, if one of us forgets, myself included, and we're like, "What are you talking about?" Like, that's not good because then you start, you're like, and I forget sometimes, and I'm like, "Are you on like heroin?" I'll say that to him, and it's
like, got some at the office.
yeah, exactly. No, so you can't do that because that is bad. And once they see that they
There's
can
a crack in the wall, they're gonna
capitalize on that. But I think that then it puts a little nick in the. It's really
resentment.
Let me tell you something.
Resentment builds up.
No, I'm going to be honest with you. I never fought with my husband. Never. Until
kids. Yeah.
And that's all we argue about is them.
That's the age we're in.
Oh, did you see my Facebook post? For those of you who are not my friends on Facebook, I wrote a Facebook post.
Don't friend her.
I do not like teens. I do not like them here or there. I do not like them anywhere.
I didn't see that post.
And then it said something about, I have two, which is more than my share, plus a husband. This is not fair. I've had it. Yesterday was my breaking point. And I was like, you know what? If I am losing it and I have two kids and I am, I live a nice life. Don't get me wrong. I'm very blessed. I can't imagine a single parent, a single mom or single dad.
It's going to be extremely challenging on some component, but if you're a single parent, again, you're not having that spousal conflict.
But
at the same time, it's got to be awful.
It is very comforting to know that even if you don't agree, somebody's got your back.
Right.
Even if you're pissed off at each other, that dude's got my back. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And the fact that when you're a single parent, and ladies and gentlemen, those of you who are, I take my hat off for you, and I have the utmost admiration. There is no safety net. Right. You are it.
Look at Melissa.
And well, that's what I'm saying. Melissa, we love you.
We love
Steve
you. Shout
Beers,
out.
we love you. It's hard.
Vince,
it is hard.
John, whatever, all the boyfriends' names. Anyway.
Yeah, all the boyfriends. It's hard. It's hard. It cannot be easy. I am certain that all of you listening has a story. It's not easy. It's just not easy. 1-888-565-1470 if you want to share. But I got to tell you something. There are days where I literally say, "Why did I do this?" Not once, but twice.
So you'd get married again?
Never.
Would you have kids again?
No. Nope. And I admit that. No, I would not. I would have pets or plants. My friend Lisa Haas says get plants. I love Lisa. She says plants. So I like her. Lisa is very smart. She's not married. And she looks so pretty all the time. And she never had children. So good for her. But no, I think I was fortunate enough to wait. I was a very old bride.
But you're only 32. And
I'm only 32. No, it was worth the wait. Married a great guy. Love him to death. My best friend. I don't know if I would have been a good wife or bride or mother.
Younger.
No. I would have probably left the child on the car.
Right.
I was, no. I love being a parent. I think it is the most awesome thing. But if you really sit down and think about it, sometimes it's really scary because you are responsible for this person and you're molding them and their personality. Right. And how their inner voice, and sometimes bad things come out of your mouth.
No, how many? Oh God!
Don't you feel horrible?
I feel
then?
awful. I feel awful. But what are you going to do?
I want to walk into the ocean sometimes. When I say, sometimes I'm like, who is this demon coming out of my mouth? You don't want to say those things, but they just come out of your head, and it's horrible. It's horrible. And any of you say you don't, God bless you, but I have said bad things I shouldn't have said, and I admit that. You know?
But you apologize to kids.
Of course, and then you should apologize to your
Right, I
children.
agree.
You should apologize. But you know what? Words are like bullets. When in any situation, you can't take them back.
On to happier subjects.
Yes, happy times.
Happy times. Mother's Day coming
Oh,
up.
Mother's Day. That's
Any
another
plans?
farce of it. That's
Another farce?
That's another farce of a holiday.
Hallmark holiday?
Yeah, I'm not a Mother's Day gal. Let me just say that. I have been a mother for almost 17 years now, and I have had one nice Mother's Day in all the 17 years.
What was that day?
It was so beautiful.
Was it the year before you had kids?
No. We got to go to the beach. David, I think, was 3 years old. We spent the whole day at the beach, which is what I love to do. We went out for breakfast. We went to the beach. I fell asleep at the beach, and David fell asleep on me. It was so beautiful. It was such a beautiful day. We were under an umbrella. It was so beautiful.
Tears
we
are
came
coming
home.
to my
No,
eye.
it was beautiful. And we came home, and they had cake for me, and that was it. It was awesome. And that was the only
That
nice
was
Mother's Day.
14 years ago.
That was a long time ago. Yeah, we don't do Mother's Day well in my house at all. At all. At all. I have never had breakfast in bed or any of those things that mothers are supposed to have. I'm usually at a baseball field or something like that.
No.
You know, celebrating my children. But you know what's funny? This was the first year I'm like, I'm going to go get a massage. That's what I'm going to go do. So
Abby would never do that. I would try.
No, I wanted to, because you feel you're a mother. You should be spending your day with your
Right.
children. So I'm like, let me call and see, Totally booked. The place was totally booked.
But by all these
Because
husbands.
no, you want to know
Who
what?
are-
Nobody wants to be with their kids on Mother's Day. Wait, they want the day off. But I was laughing. She's like, "Oh, Amy, we're all booked up." I'm like, "Oh," I said, "Well, it's my fault. I called too late. I called like yesterday, which is fine." But I just think it's funny. A lot of women, what do you do for Abby for Mom's Day?
Well, we're going to go celebrate with my parents.
Yes,
We'll have brunch,
that's a beautiful thing.
but then we'll get into a fight about the kids.
Okay, pretty much.
And then the kids will wear us down, and then it'll be a miserable
Well,
afternoon.
it's just me and the boys because Noah's working, so it's just me and the
So
boys.
you'll have a nice Mother's Day.
No. I know I won't, because at least he could corral them into doing something. So I did make us breakfast reservations at 9 a.m. Yeah, that's
Oh,
never
God.
going to happen.
You're crazy.
Yeah, it's not going to
You
happen.
should sleep in.
No, sleeping in, I get up at 4 every day, so sleeping in for me is like 8 a.m. So I don't think that's going to happen, but we have the reservations just in case, for the three of us.
Let me ask you, do you have a to-do list?
Every day of my life.
You have a to-do list?
Yes. Do you know what Noah says to me? Why do you even have that? Your inbox is never going to be empty. It's
Noah
true.
says the same thing I tell Abby.
It's never going.
Abby's got a list that is so long. And for those listeners out there who know my wife.
I love Abby.
Yeah, she's wonderful.
She is.
But she's got total type A personality.
Me too.
A list. And she's got 43 things to do today. And as soon as she gets 3 things done, she gets the other 10 things on there. I'm like, you have to stop. You have to learn how to relax. You have to.
You know what? I get it, because I don't know how.
Well,
I don't.
but you're
Even
training
when I
yourself
am
not
home, Even when I'm home and no one's around, I'm always looking to do something. Like, I'll never sit down and just read a book or watch TV or
Yeah, but see,
whatever.
but here's my argument. Well, here's the argument thrown back at me. But if I don't do this stuff, it won't get done. Okay, so if you, God forbid, die tomorrow, you mean the house is not going to,
I worry about that.
You worry
though.
about that?
He doesn't have. I love
Your
him.
kids,
He hasn't written a check since 1995.
Well, you'll have to learn. I'll have to learn. The
I worry
world,
about my
the world
kids
continues.
because he's not going to baby them
Well,
like I do.
Yeah,
you
but that
know.
might.
Don't
not
know.
be-
That'll be good. I think everyone's going to have a learning curve
Sure.
if that happens. But I already
You ever
picked
think about
out.
that?
Yeah, every day, every single day. I
What
picked out
happened
a
if-
wife for him and everything.
You picked out a wife for him?
Yeah, she knows who she is. We've had that discussion. She recently got remarried.
Plan B.
But she has to divorce her husband to marry mine.
You have a contract. That's in the.
No,
is that
we have a
prenup?
verbal agreement.
It's a prenup.
We have a
It's in a prenup.
You
in
have
the
no. This has been going on since David's 3 years old. I told him, if something happens to me, this is who you have to marry.
I'm sorry, Abby's taken.
No, I wasn't Abby because I didn't know Abby then. But this woman knows her role. She has to leave the current husband and go with Noah. She does. That's the rule. We made that agreement years ago.
Really?
No, I don't want him to be alone. I don't. Like, I would not ever get married. I don't want to date. I don't want to. No, ever. I'm good. I'm good. I'm going to be. I'm going to cut my hair again and wear sensible shoes. That's what's. And I move to Santa Fe. That's what I'm going to do. But no, I don't want him to ever be alone. I want him to get married. You know.
What's the appropriate time after a
he
spouse?
He can get married the next day. I really don't care.
The next day? Come on.
Doesn't bother me. It does not bother me.
Bothers me.
I don't know. Why? Because you know what?
You're already dead?
I'm dead. I'm not going to know. I don't care.
Yeah, but it's hard for the kids.
Oh, it's not hard for the kids.
Oh, sure.
No. If they're older, forget it.
Oh, if they're older, that's a different story.
No, now, you know what? I honestly think now, because the kids are still young and impressionable.
What's an appropriate amount of time?
6 months, I guess. I don't know.
Abby's like 3 months. I said, what?
Yeah, no, yeah. It's
That's
crazy.
crazy.
Kids need a mother.
I would
There
need
was
to
a
wait.
thing on Facebook, what kind of wife are you? And there was like caring wife, comforting wife, classy wife. I wanted
you
to
were
be
the one who had
trophy.
the
I
devil
wanted to be
horns?
trophy wife. I got classic wife. Classy wife. That's what I got. I wanted to be trophy wife.
With the stripper pole you were talking about earlier?
That's my hair today. It looks like I came off the pole. Not that there's anything wrong with being on the pole. It's the honest living. But yeah, that's no, it is.
For all those strippers listening.
No, I know, but maybe there
you
is.
never know.
You never know. But everybody's got to do. I'm totally into, like, if I really thought about it, like, Bruno Mars. I would love somebody like that. Like pink strawberry champagne on ice. That's what I like. I would love it. When he says silk sheets and diamonds, all white, I'm like, okay, I'm in.
So who's your celebrity husband?
Celebrity husband, Andrew McCarthy. Would marry him now.
Who?
Andrew McCarthy. From
Who is Andrew
Pretty
McCarthy?
Pretty in Pink. It's before your time. I even
Pink,
did
yeah.
a thing on my Facebook page because it's Nurses Week. By the way, happy Nurses Week to all the nurses out there, men and women. I wrote, it was a picture of him, and it wrote, I love Amy, happy Nurses Week. I love him.
Who's Andrew McCarthy?
He played in Pretty in Pink. He used to be part of that Brat Pack thing.
Okay. Oh, yeah.
I love him so much. Like, I always tell Noah, if we meet Bradley Cooper, if we ever get famous and I meet Bradley Cooper, just be quiet. Just stand there. I'll
Hey, you're not my
acknowledge you.
husband? You're not? Don't
No,
act like
he's
my
my husband, but just don't talk. Don't
But you're
ruin the
into- you're
moment for
into
me.
other things.
Andrew McCarthy, totally single. Like, I would set him on fire right there. I have no idea.
You said no on fire.
Yeah, no
Yeah.
idea who he is. I was like, oh my gosh,
Who is this
let's
guy?
call for 911. I have no idea. This man's been following me for. No, like, seriously. My husband laughs. He says, he's so not your type because he's like this, like, blondie, blue-eyed kind of guy. And he's like, I know. I was like, I know. I don't know what it is. He used to make this face when he was in the movies, like this, like, I can't explain it, like almost like a pain, but like a little bit of a, like, crazy look. And I just think he's so cute. He's just so cute. Like, you want to be treated the way he treats every girl in the movies. It's adorable. He's just adorable.
Movies.
So
Schmovies.
yeah, I know. Well, it's not real life. I have a friend. Let me tell you this story. I have a friend. What is it with men? Men
Here we
think that
go.
life is the
Here we
movies.
go.
He left this beautiful girl, lovely girl, because it wasn't like the movies. I'm like, wake up, pal. It's not like the movies. It's just not like the movies. It's like the movies for a couple of years, and then it's not the movies anymore. It's more like Nightmare on Elm Street. But I don't get that. I just
Angelina
don't get it.
Jolie. That's a Nightmare on Elm
She's
Street.
very beautiful.
She's beautiful. She's a nutcase.
Crazy, but she's very beautiful.
Yeah.
Yeah. My favorite, though, Jennifer Lawrence and Sandra Bullock. Those are my two girl
Like
crushes.
Sandra Bullock.
Love her.
Penelope Cruz.
Gorgeous.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
sorry,
I don't like
sorry,
her-
Abby. I would leave you. For
I don't
Penelope.
like. I think she's the most gorgeous woman.
She has to
but
leave Javier Bardem.
Gorgeous. Yeah, I don't know her that well to like her. I think she's beautiful though. But like Sandra Bullock, in my head, we're like friends, and Jennifer Lawrence, like we would totally hang out. And I like that she fell down because that's something that I would do all the time. So like these are people that I would hang out with. I don't know the other one, so I can't say like I know Sandra and I were on the phone the other day. But like those kind of people remind me of like they were normal at one point in their life.
Jennifer Aniston.
She's not normal.
No, she's a woman.
Yeah, but she's not. There's something about her that's just. Nancy will talk about her when
Why?
she comes on. We don't know what it is. We're not sure what it is. I think that she was. I liked her
It seems
I
that
still
people.
like
It seems
her.
that people love her. In
No, I
Hollywood.
do. I love her, and I think she got a dirty zeal. And karma is your friend.
In what? In
With the Brad Pitt
with the Brad-
Angelina
yeah,
thing.
sure.
That was a very bad thing.
Yeah, it was a bad deal.
I have no sympathy for him. If you want sympathy, it's between a dirty word and syphilis in the dictionary, because I'm not giving it to you. But I will tell you, I don't know. Something's not right there. Something upsets me about her. Not in a bad way. A little left of center. I don't know. I'll
Interesting.
figure it out. I'm studying her.
You're studying her.
I'm studying
Yeah, I've been
her.
studying
But
her for
I
like 20
enjoy
years.
her. I think she's quite lovely. I really do. And she is aging.
Gracefully.
Oh, my God.
Yeah, beautiful. Girl.
Please.
I
She's
just saw
just
Jennifer
beautiful.
Lawrence in the American Hustle.
Wasn't that a great
movie?
movie?
I've seen it 20 times. It's fantastic.
Love her. Love
Amy
love,
Adams.
Oh, she's so
She's
pretty.
talented. Yeah.
So anybody named Amy is just fabulous. But that's a whole other story.
That's a whole different story.
That's a whole other story. I wish somebody would make a song for me. And like just it becomes like $1 million thing, and I'm in the video. I have crazy dreams.
That'd be what's her name, Courtney Cox.
Dancing in the dark. No, I don't know.
Bruce Springsteen.
I like Bruce Springsteen.
Nah.
Oh, when he was young, he was a cutie. Yeah.
He was young, 45 years ago.
No.
How old is he?
I don't know. Early hundreds? I don't know. I don't know. Like, what do you think about Britney Spears?
No way.
No?
No, not my thing.
Nice body, though.
Yeah, too
Very
slutty.
nice.
I don't like that.
Some men like that.
Not my thing.
No. I like
I
an
wanna
elegant woman. I got to be honest with
Elegance.
you. Yeah. I like an elegant
Sophia
woman.
Loren.
I think that's
Yeah,
a
that's
classic.
classy.
That's like the Model T Ford of
Penelope
women.
Cruz, I'm telling you.
She's gorgeous. The first time I ever saw her was in Ralph Lauren ad
Oh, yeah,
100
yeah.
years ago. I was like, who is this and
How
why
about-
can't I be her?
Michael Douglas' wife.
I don't like her.
Oh, my God. Well,
Catherine Biggerbones. I don't like her.
What's her name?
Catherine Zeta-Jones.
Yeah.
I don't like her. I call her Catherine
Catherine
Biggerbones.
Oh, she's beautiful.
I don't see
A
it.
little nuts, but
I don't
she's
think.
beautiful.
I think she's crazier than hell.
Well-
No, but I don't like her. No. I don't like him anymore either.
Michael Douglas?
Yeah, I used to like him when he was young. Oh, he was the cutie. Don't like him. No, something's not
Why?
right there. That's a whole bag of crazy
Well.
going on there. Yeah. Let me tell you something. I may have my doctorate degree, but I am a big.
You're a psychologist?
I am a really big reader of all the gossip.
Oh, for God's sake.
Yeah, I'm telling you.
Who's a better judge of your friends between you and Noah?
A better judge of character?
Of character?
Noah, for sure.
Really? Yes,
I'm
Noah.
an idiot.
Really?
I love everyone. I'm like the Statue of
That's like
Liberty.
Abby.
I'm like, oh, they're so nice. And he's like, are you crazy? Yeah, I am the worst judge of character.
I
I
can't-
think because I'm a nurse.
Well,
we love everyone.
You love everybody. You're trained
Even
to love
when you're an
everybody.
animal, we love you. Don't worry, it's good. It's good. Don't worry.
Yeah, no, Abby's the same way as you.
I
I'm
have-
like, Abby, this person I don't trust. There's something I don't like. There's something, I'm telling you, there's something. No, you don't know what you're talking about. You always say that.
See, he
And-
likes
and
me
six
right
months,
off the bat.
6 months later, it's like, oh
It
my
blows
God,
up
that
in your
person
face.
was,
Yeah.
I've said, I told
Noah
you.
does the same thing. He is really good at being a good judge of character. He's like my danger warning.
Your danger
He is.
warning?
Danger. Yeah, I'm serious.
See, what would you do without Noah?
I'd be sad. I would be sad. I would be very sad.
But you'd have your stripper pole and you'd be out
I'd have a
dating
stripper pole
Andrew
and
McCarthy.
me and my
whatever.
hair would be dating. Dating for dollars. There
Dating
you
for
go.
dollars. Dancing
No.
for dollars.
No, but what would you do? What would you do? He'd be down in the DR
I'd be
having a good
down-
time.
No, but I have my boys here. I wouldn't bring them back down to the DR.
No?
No, because they're here.
Would you ever consider going back again full time?
100%.
Really? So
Yeah.
why aren't you?
Because we're here, our boys are here now. It was one thing if we were moving down there when our boys were 6 years old or 7 years old and moving down there, that's a different story. But now we've moved up here, that
I agree. I know.
it's hard to make that transfer,
but
transition.
do you think kids are more resilient than we let them think?
Yes, I do. But it's also challenging. And you don't want them, especially
no.
boys. I think girls have, in some regards, a little bit easier when they're
I
in
do.
grade school because they can, go
Make
from
friends
one friend.
easy.
Yeah, make friends
Exactly.
easier. Boys, athletics, blah, blah, blah.
All right, guys, that was another episode of He Said, She Said, SouthFlorida.com. I hope you guys come back and see us next week. We will be here 6:30 p.m. every Monday. Give us a call when you can, 1-888-565-1470. We'll see you next week. Have a great
Thanks for
week.
showing up. Take care. Bye.
You've been listening to and watching He Said, She Said South Florida Style. Join us every Monday at 6:30 p.m. on AM 1470 WNN and 95.3 FM. Or watch live on Facebook, Periscope, or AMP2 TV to talk about hot topics and what makes opposites attract.